to be seeing from today. So as I mentioned, to work with your system, to work with your Spring Boot applications or to work with your Spring Boot, let me start the recording.
Recording in progress.
Yeah. So as I mentioned in yesterday discussion, so to work with the Spring Boot, so definitely you need a minimum JDK 17 and a IDE called as a STS you need, so that your choice, if you want to go for the IntelliJ or if you want to go Eclipse or if you want to go Visual Studio also, that's you go. But if you want to go for the IntelliJ to get the Spring related features, it will not give auto suggestions related to the Spring for a community edition. So if you want to get that features like auto suggestions, all those things, then definitely need to purchase the licenses. That's the reason. So we are preferring the STS, that is Spring Toolsuit, that is the open source. So you no need to do anything. So just you need to download that. It will come in the form of the jar file. You need to just double click on that. It will extract, and you can go to that folder. There is a Spring Toolsuit.exe is there. So you need to just click on that. Then it will going to be open that one. So that's how you are going to be working with your Spring Toolsuit. And definitely minimum JDK 17 is the requirement to work with the Spring Boot 3 onwards, because currently Spring Boot 2 is almost deprecated. Spring Boot 3 is the present version and a stable version. To work with the Spring Boot 3, minimum JDK 17 it demand. So that's the reason. So in our systems, definitely you need to set up the JDK 17 and a STS you need. So this is all about our Spring Tool suite setup and JDK 17. And to work with your Spring Boot application, you need one build tool. So that build tool is nothing but Maven we are going to be using. You can use anything. You can use Maven or Gradle. Both are a build tools already here. But directly if I start the directly if you start the Gradle without having any knowledge on any other build tool, it's a little bit difficult to get that one. So that's the reason one of the best build tool and easy build tool is the Maven. And in my opinion, I'm honestly telling, the more you will work with the Gradle, the more you will work with the Maven, because the Gradle always give a troubles to you. It is a performance first, it is a speed. So Gradle and Maven both are the build tools only. Performance wise, Gradle is a bit faster, and it is going to be, because it is use the Groovy script, and it will not going to be, there is a one advantage. So if you use the Maven, there is a one script we are going to be using, that is a one XML format we are going to be keep. So in that XML we are going to be writing all our necessary task, everything. So Maven doesn't bother whether the script got changed or not. Step by step it will going to be how many times you will execute also, those many times it is going to be executed. But a Gradle on benefit thing is, if nothing is changed, so then it will not going to be execute that step. So the changed steps only. For example, you changed some kind of a compilation segment, or if you change something like a dependency segment, or if you change something like a configuration segment, only that changed segment only it will going to be executed. Unchanged segments it will not going to be changed. So that's the reason Gradle is a little bit speed compared to the Maven. But the more you will work with the Gradle, you will love the Maven, because Maven is a simpler than the Gradle. So Gradle will going to be the group step a little bit difficult. So, and the best part is to start with your any kind of a build tool. If you don't have any knowledge with the build tool, the best starting point is the Maven only. So that's the reason. First, we will see first of all what is the build tool and how we are going to be set up the Maven. So that's we will see. So just you need to download the zip folder here. You no need to install or anything. So just you need to download this zip folder. So Apache Maven, this zip folder you need to download. So hope everyone downloaded this Maven. So everyone have a JDK 17 in your systems.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So everyone downloaded the STS.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So everyone downloaded this zip folder. So Maven.
Yes, sir.
So just you need to Apache Maven download. That's it. So then you can go that. So just you can come there. So you need to get this binary zip archive. That's what I told yesterday also. So you need to download the binary archive. So what it will give is binary archive means it will going to be give the compiled files and it will going to be you can directly use. As because this Maven is the open source, they don't hesitate to give the source code also. So these two are the source codes here. If you want to do any kind of experiment with that Maven, or if you want to do your own plugins, or if you want to do your own enhancements for that Maven, or if you want to contribute for your that Maven, okay. So I have some great thought. I will contribute to the Maven, and that's where you can download this source code. You can do your own. W- Play out on this source. So that's the reason they will give the source also, but we don't require that source now because we are not going to be developing any kind of customizations or anything. So that's the reason. So just a binary zip is sufficient for me. Binary zip is nothing but it will going to be give that tool. It will compile and it will give that tool and you can directly use that one. So that's it. So this is what. So here I'm having the binary zip archive. So just you need to click on this, then it will going to be download. It will come with the zip format. So that looks like this. The Maven will going to become like this in a zip format. So just you need to right click, extract all, or you can do. Suppose if you are using the 7-zip, so just go to the 7-zip, extract here. That your choice. You can just directly click the extract all or extract here. That's your choice. So that's it. And once you extract that, that will extract like this folder, Apache Maven. If you just go there and you have this all files. So to access this Maven, so you need to set the path here. For that, you need two things. First one is you need to set an environment variable called as a Java underscore home. You need to set the environment variable. So not only this one, in the future, if you are using any kind of a Java related tools like the Maven or any kind of other tools, Java related tools, which Java version your system is using, you need to tell to that tool. So for that, all these Java tools, what it will do is they will look for an environment variable called as a Java underscore home. So Java home environment variable they look up. So you need to just set the path until where your JDK is installed. So generally where our Java will install here? Which location?
The program file.
C program files, Java. So JDK. So I'm using the JDK 17. So just you can copy this until this path. So you need to add this in your environment variable. So Java underscore home, you need to give to this path. Like this environment variable you need to add to work with your Maven, or if you didn't set Maven itself ask. So where you just we need a Java underscore variable home variable, it will ask. So how you need to set the environment variable is you can just go here. You can just directly type the environment variables. It will going to be open. There is a two things it will going to be given here. So I'll click the environment variables. Two things. One is a user variable, system variables. User variable means suppose if you take anything, like if you take some kind of a Mac OS or Windows system, or if you take a Linux, in a same system, you can create a multiple user accounts. User one, user two, user three that you can able to log in. So like if you see in a corporate world, sometimes what will happen is, so morning shift people will come with the same system only. One user account is dedicated for the one user. Second user is going to dedicate for the some other user. Morning shift people will use the one user account. Evening shift people will going to use the another user. So that's where only for your user account, if you want to apply, then you can add this one. No system level, anyone want to access a system level, anyone want to use that my this one variable means, then you can add in a system variables. Recommendation is because if it is a personal system to you, you don't have any other people want going to be using, add in a both safe side. So just you can add that in a user, and as well as you can just add in your system variable also. Now you can see I added in a Java underscore in a system, and here also. How you can add is click a new variable name is a Java underscore home. Variable value is the path until wherever you copied the JDK 17, that path you need to do that one. That's it. And you can just click OK. Then it will going to be saved like this. Same here also. Click a new Java underscore home variable value. That's it. So that's what you need to do. So you need to add the Java underscore home variable. So then your Maven will going to be pick up. Otherwise, it will actually ask you to add the Java underscore home variable. And now, once you added that one, you need to go to the Maven, which are you extracted. There you are having the bin folder here. Inside this bin folder, we are having this mvn.cmd. So we need to tell to this Maven path to our system. So once you extracted, that's your choice. So place this Maven folder in a some location, which you will not going to be deleted. So once you downloaded, you will extract that you can keep in a C folder or somewhere, which you will not delete. So that's once you extract it, you go to the bin folder, copy this path until bin folder. So copy this path and add this path in the environment variable also. So you can just go to the environment variable. Until this, there is a path variable is there. In this path variable, here you don't need to click the new, you can just click the edit, and here you can just click the new and you can just give this path until this path Apache Maven 3.8.slash bin. So that was already added in my system. You can see that was already added in my system. So that's the reason I don't need to again add. Same here also, select the path, edit, click the new, then give the path. Like this, you need to add your Apache Maven path. That's it. So once you add it, so then your Apache Maven will going to be accessed anywhere from your system. So that's where you are going to be adding that Maven bin path to your path library. I mean, path environment variable you are going to be adding. So once you add, so what you can simply do is you can just to open command prompt mvn hyphen version. You can just type that one. So then it will going to be give the which version. If it is giving this which version, all those things means yes, your Maven is properly set up. See, Java, it used Java 17.09. So that's why then you need to tell the Java home. Definitely you need to keep the Java home. If you didn't keep the Java home, it will ask you. For example, I will do one thing. I will reset the environment variable. I just resetting the Java underscore. So now if I see, if I just click the Maven version, it will ask the Java underscore variable is not defined correctly. So definitely to use the Maven, you need the Java underscore variable. Compulsory, you need to set the Java underscore variable. So if you didn't set this Java underscore home variable, environment variable, it will ask you. So then what you need to do, you need to create this underscore Java underscore home variable, and you need to add in the environment variable. You can just save this. So then you need to set the Maven path, then you can use that Maven path. So could you please explain the steps, installation steps, what we need to do? First one is, I want to set up the Maven here. First one, download the
Maven,
and
set the path.
unzip. Second, before setting the path, Maven need a one environment variable. What an environment variable?
Maven home.
So set Java underscore home environment variable. So you can just use the Java underscore environment variable you can use. Then after that,
You need to copy the path for the Maven and
add
add it
the
into the path.
Maven library path in a environment
Environment.
variable.
Sir,
That's it.
without a Maven library, we cannot create the war file for the Spring Boot application.
Without Maven,
Yes.
so you can create by using the IDE STS.
Okay. So yesterday, what are we watching? Export option that only.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, but actually, Maven is not only for the sake of the war. There is some other purpose is also there. That's the reason first we are using the Maven. So we'll discuss. First, once we done the setup, step by step, we are going to be seeing the advantages of this Maven, all those things. So these are the three things you need to do. So definitely you need a Maven. So with this Maven, you are going to be working with your applications. So by this Maven is called as a build tool we are going to be calling. So what this build tool, how we are going to be working the build tool is. So for that, we will do some case study. Simple case study here. I want to develop an application. Leave about this, whether it is a Spring or whether it is some other application, we don't bother. So I want to develop an application. So let us say some Java application I want to develop. It need some libraries, all those things. So to develop a Java application, what are the things come into your mind? Just please tell me what things you need to do and what may steps going to be occur. So just roughly, what are the things come to your mind? So just
We have to create the project
okay,
and write the
create the project. So which means can I say some kind of a directory structure?
yes.
Because web application having its different directory structure, regular standard application having there some different directory structure. For example, web application, you need to create a web app folder, webnf folder. In a webnf folder, you need to keep all your paths like a JSPs, all those things you are going to be keeping in a webnf folder. So in a web app folder, you are going to be keeping the web.xml. So this kind of a configuration files you are going to be keeping. So like a creating the project or creating the directory structure. Any other steps here? So let us say you will write the code. You need to compile, right? Without compiling, can we execute?
No, we have to
So
come.
can I add the compilation? So here as a developer, you are not going to be compiling because IDE taking care about this. But generally, if you want to deliver your code without compilation, you cannot able to deliver, right? So that's where compilation also needed. Any other step here? Can I say collecting of the libraries? For example, you want to communicate with the database, you need that database drivers, right? Or in future you are using some other applications or some other frameworks. So those framework related libraries you need or not?
Yes,
So
we
let
do.
us say Spring or Struts or anything. So those framework related libraries we need. So I'm just telling collecting libraries. Simple example here. Yesterday we want to develop a servlet. To develop a servlet, we need that a servlet API.jar, right? We set the path for the servlet API.jar because all the implementation classes for the servlet available in that servlet API.jar. So there is nothing but a library only. There is nothing but library only. So that's the reason. So we need to collect the libraries. So we need to collect the libraries. So that collecting of a libraries we need to do for our project. So once we collected the libraries, so generally what you need to do is you need to fill up some kind of execution steps. Like you are going to be executing the unit tests. So unit test means once you return the code, so at least as a developer, you need to write some test cases whether your properly your logic is reaching expectations or not. So that's where unit test you need to write. So this unit test you are going to be executing. So this unit test you are going to be writing in your application. So that unit test execution you need to write. So once unit test case was done, suppose if you want to do some kind of a configuration, so you can just do that configurations like packaging of your application, how you want to package of your application, like a jar file, like a war file, or if it is having any kind of a EA, EJBs, then if you want to come package as a EAR file. So that kind of a configurations you can add this one. And configuration consisting of a lot of things, maybe packaging, so like jar, var, all those things. Jar, var, or EAR, whichever the format you want to need, if you want to package, so all the packaging available in this jar, var, EAR. So like that, if you want to do some kind of other configurations, you want to apply some specific Java version, or you want to apply specific library version, or you want to set the name for your var jar EAR, so particular name I want to set up like that. So suppose if you want to working with some kind of other libraries, and you want to create a specific module, or if you want to once everything was done, you want to upload this into some other location. So those kind of configurations you need to do. So these all are the steps involved in our project creation. So let us say I just want to start a scratch project. So I created the project directory. I set up in my system. I created the project directory and created the data structure, all those things. I did the compilation. I did the collecting the libraries, unit test cases, configurations, packaging, everything. I did my system. So I'm going to be working this one. So now my team got expanded. New people also came into my team. So they are also working on the same project. So they also need to set up all those things in their system. So everyone has to be set up this system. Everyone has to make sure that. So they need to download the libraries. They need to set some configurations. They need to collect some libraries. They need to package that jar file or a war file, ER file. Everyone need to do these steps. So that's how these steps we are going to be calling as a project build steps. So project build steps. Everyone whoever working in my project, so they need to do the this project build steps. Okay, all the people are the developer people. They know these build steps. They're doing this manually. So now let us say finally our project was done, and we need to give to the testing people, or we need to give to the some other people. We need to give this one. Now tell me, developer, you know how to package this war file, all those things. So would you expect testing people also do the same thing? If you do
No.
all these steps, testing people, boss, why our area of work is testing only. We don't do this kind of nonsense. So we'll just do the testing only. Just to set up the environment for me also. Now see, I'm having the 20 testers in my team, dear. 5 members are the manual, 5 members are the automation, 5 members for the API testing, 5 members are the mobile testing, 5 members are the so on so testing, system integration testing. For every 20 members, I need to go and set up this thing. So do you think it is a feasible?
No.
So that's definitely not possible. So we cannot able to set up all those things. Okay, leave over the testing. Somehow we set up. Now we need to deliver to the client. So we're going to be deliver this to the client. So we'll tell to the client, hey client, I prepared the awesome documentation. You can follow this documentation. You can set up your system. Client will going to kick with the left leg, not even right leg. Will kick with the left leg. So I'm a client man. Why I need to set up all those things in my system? That's your responsibility. Why I need to do all those things? So that is where here actually we are doing is we are building our project. We are building our project. So if you do all these steps, so you are having an IDE. In that IDE, you are compiling and you are going to be setting that class path, nothing but collecting the libraries. You are running the unit test cases. If anything, if you want to package your thing, you are going to be exporting by using an IDE. But if you go to the client systems, or if you want to go to the testing people systems, they don't have these IDEs. They don't have this luxury. They just will have the JDKs, or even with they are just a users. Did users need a JDK? What they need here? Users need a just
JRE.
JRE.
JRE is sufficient. So maybe they will have some JRE only. They even don't have a JDK also. Then if only JRE is there, you cannot able to run even IDE also. So in that scenario, what we are having is we are going to be automate this build process. So whatever the steps we are going to be doing, so that's where you're going to be automate. To automate your build process, to automate your build process. So we are having the build tools like a Maven, Gradle, and some other also we are having. So in the olden days we are having the ant. Ant is also one builder tool, but now that is almost deprecated, no one is using. So we are using the Maven, a Gradle, something like a tower house we are having. So that's why we are going to be using different builder tools we are having. So but most of the projects will use the Maven and a Gradle, either Maven or Gradle they are going to be used. So one of the best play to start is a Maven. So with the Maven, you can able to automate your build process. If you use the Maven, Maven will use a file called as a pom.xml dear. In a Maven projects, you are having something called as a pom.xml. In this pom.xml, you are going to be configuring all your steps. So how you want to package your file, how you want to set up your directory structure, how you want to collect your libraries, how you want to write your unit test cases, how you want to execute your unit test cases, how you want to packaging. So which segment you want to packaging, so that everything you are going to be set up in your pom.xml. So that's the reason this pom.xml will call as a build descriptor we are going to be calling. So you are describing about your build process, boss. I need these libraries. So I need this kind of a configuration. I want to execute unit test cases at this point. I need to add the configurations like this. I need to package my application like this, either jar or var. So that's how I want to configure all my build process in my pom.xml. So that's the reason we are going to be calling pom.xml as a build descriptor. Suppose if you are using the Gradle, Gradle will use a build descriptor file called as a build.gradle to be used here. Build.gradle. So this Maven use the XML file as a build descriptor. Gradle will use the build.gradle. So this is the just this is something called as a JSON format. It's not a JSON format. It's actually a GUI script. So flower bases like that you are going to be take, and you are going to be using this build.gradle for the build descriptor. Gradle will use the build.gradle. Maven use the pom.xml. So let me just show that example. So this looks like this there. Your Maven pom.xml looks like this. You are having the project and like a model version and a parent. So which kind of a version you are having, everything it is going to be configured like this. So this pom.xml. So based upon that, you are going to be adding different kind of a modules, everything. So just you are going to be adding your properties. So how you are going to build your project. So dependencies, what kind of a libraries you need. So that you are going to be adding in this dependencies. So that's how you are going to be adding with your Maven. So like the same way. So you will use the build.gradle. So, but build.gradle will use a GUI scripts. It will looks like this. It is not XML. So it will going to be used this, like some plugins, floor braces, close braces. You are going to give your application, and there whatever the dependencies you need, you are going to be using dependencies. So like you are going to be adding your dependencies like this. Suppose if you see the Maven dependencies, you are adding like this in XML format. Dependencies, dependency, which dependency you need, you are going to be adding like this. But coming to the Gradle, you will define the dependencies like implementation. What are the libraries you need? You are going to be adding like this. So I mean, just this is just a high level overview here. Once we step in, you came to know. So that's the reason working with the Gradle is a little bit difficult. But once you work with the Maven, so then you will get the how a build tool will going to be work. It will going to be give some kind of a context. So that's where so your Maven will going to be work with the XML, and your Gradle will going to be work with the Groovy script. So this is a Groovy. So build.gradle is the Groovy script. So you are going to be defining everything like this. And here it is the XML. Maven will going to be the form.xml. So this is where you are going to be defining all your dependencies you are going to be defining. So here,
So we will create one application with the Gradle also.
yes, we
Uh,
can do. So
at
once
this
you,
one application, so we would be able to handle in the interview.
yeah, we can do that one also, not a problem. So here, so we are going to be working with the Maven. And once you have get a hands-on experience with the Maven, so then you can able to work with your Gradle also. There is a nothing more challenge. So, but once you are step into the Gradle, so configuration is a little bit difficult. The main area when you will use the Gradle is sometimes what will happen is while working with our application, we need to execute our custom steps. For example, while in the build process going on there, I want to execute some batch file or some kind of a shell script I want to execute, or some kind of a Windows some service startups I do want to do. So that scenario, Maven don't have that kind of a luxury. Until Maven 3.2, we don't have that luxury at that time. So again, you need to write some kind of some batch file. In that batch file, you need to do all those things. In mid of Maven execution, you cannot able to execute any kind of a other batch files. All those things you cannot able to do in a Maven. So because custom execution steps not possible in a Maven. Maven is a structure oriented. So whatever the things you need, so that you need to define in your pom.xml, and those things will going to be execute automatically. But a Gradle is a convenient way. So in the future, if you want to add some kind of a custom execution steps, let us say I want to add some kind of a shell script execution or a batch execution or everything I want to execute. So that's we are going to be executing here. So Gradle will actually help you to execute. Gradle will actually help you to execute all the custom execution steps also. So that's the reason some complex applications, like especially that too for Android application, the go-to build tool is a Gradle. Why? Because in a Android, while you are executing, you need to start the simulator. So like a unit test cases, all those things, before that you need to start the simulator. So that simulator will actually help you to run that Android SDK. So it will actually help you to execute that thing. So that's the reason that kind of a complex application where you need to start some simulators, where you want to execute your some heavy bundle stacks. So there you are going to be using the Gradle will actually play a good role on there. But like a regular applications, like Spring Boot applications or a Spring Web applications or any kind of a microservice application, Maven is the best suitable. That's the reason mostly if you take any project, 95% you are going to be seeing the Maven only. Remaining 5% some kind of a complex applications, like I told, whether we have a Android integrations or the people who are more enthusiastic, they want to use the high level technologies. So then they will go for the Gradle. So, but once you work with the Maven, you can comfortably work with the Gradle also, no issue on that. So that's we will see. So that's what. So this is the purpose of the Gradle to automate our build process. We are going to be using either Maven or a Gradle. Both are build tools only. Both are build tools only. Now what we will do is we will download one Spring Boot project only. So instead of working with other things, we'll develop a Spring Boot project only. So with that Spring Boot project, so we are going to be check with our Maven how this Maven will going to be work up. So with the Maven, you can directly develop a raw project also, but again you need to add the Spring Boot dependencies, all those things. So to directly anyway we are working with the Spring Boot only. So to directly will give the attack and the Spring Boot. So there you can see how we are going to be working the Maven, all those things. So now I want to develop a Spring Boot project here. Spring Boot project where I want to develop. So there is a multiple ways you can develop a Spring Boot project. So one is you can use Spring Initializer. That is a Spring Web Initializer you can use. By using this Spring Web Initializer, so you can directly develop your Spring Boot project. So how you can do is you can just go there. You can just select when you can access a URL, or you can just Google for that Spring Initializer. So you can just Google for that Spring Initializer. So the URL is actually start.spring.io. So you can use this Spring Initializer. So in this Spring Initializer, you can just select what you need. So this is the project, which kind of a project you need. So you need a Maven, or if you want to Gradle with a Groovy or Gradle with a Kotlin. So Kotlin is a different here. In your programming, in your program, if you want to work with if you don't want to work with a Java, if you want to work with other programming language also like a Kotlin. So Spring Boot will support the Kotlin also. Spring Boot will support the Camel also. Not only Java, you can use any Kotlin programming language or a thing, so you can develop your Spring Boot project. So if you are using the regular Java, so then you need to use a Gradle Groovy. So if you are using something called as a Kotlin in your project, you need to use a Kotlin. So currently we decided to use which tool at present. So
Maven.
that's the reason I'm taking the Maven. So build tool is the Maven. So nothing but enter come to the project. So which programming language you want to use? For example, say 3 languages support for the Spring Boot. So you can develop your Spring Boot components, everything with a Java, with a Kotlin, with a Groovy. So which you want to take? Definitely we are in a Java side only. So we are going to be taking the Java only. So that Java we are going to be taking. So here Spring Boot version. So always remember, dear, whenever you want to choose any kind of a library version or a framework version, always go. Suppose if you want to take any kind of a version, there is a version management is there. Which version you need to choose? You need to choose something like a LTS versions you need to choose. So generally, when you develop any kind of a project, they will going to be released in a 3 formats. One is the snapshot versions, milestone versions, LTS versions. What is a snapshot versions means? This is a very new. This is a very new. Maybe some bugs will there. We are going to be fixing that one. That is a snapshot version. Let us say Spring snapshot version. So suppose if you see this is 3.4.1 is a snapshot version. So there you are there they are having some bugs. That is a snapshot version. So they are going to be releasing. So 3.3.37 this is a snapshot version. Maybe some bugs will going to be happen. So 3.3.6 again this is something like a different. So you are having this snapshot versions. So snapshot versions, these are very early to release. So maybe they will work, no issue. They will work, but maybe some bugs is there. We are ready to fix that one. That is a snapshot versions. Any project if you develop or any library we develop, so we are going to be releasing in a 3 forms. So basically there is a little bit other thing also there. So let us say alpha, beta, those are all different. So beta means so they just alpha means only inside the company only, inside the industry only, inside their company only they want to use. That is the alpha versions. Beta version means they will share with that the other team and they will going to be test with some kind of a reputed companies. What will they use? They will develop a beta projects and they will give some kind of a limited people only. They will just ask to use that application. So that's the reason. Have you ever observed when you're downloading any app from the Android, they will ask, do you want to add a join in a beta community? Have you ever observed that one? It will ask. So once you download any kind of application, so do you want to join in any kind of a beta community? It will going to be asked, which means the apps developed early to release, you will have an access. You are going to be play with this one. If any bugs is there, you are going to be reporting that one. So those kind of apps called as a beta releases. So alpha releases, beta releases, those are industry specific. Inside company only they will use. But finally, for the public, they will release in a 3 formats: either snapshot versions, either milestone versions, or a LTS versions they are going to be used. Snapshot version means They released that, but still they kind of some kind of maybe the bugs were going to become, so they are ready to fix that one. So those kind of versions we are going to be calling as a snapshot versions. They are going to be calling. So generally, people will avoid the snapshot versions there because they don't want to take that challenges. People will going to be avoid the this snapshot version. Suppose if you see Spring Boot also, we are having these many versions: 3.4.1, 3.4.0, 3.3.7, 3.3.6. These many versions we are having. Which version I need to choose? If you got the knowledge on this, then you can choose that one. Snapshot version means it is not at all a stable. Not as of now, it is not a stable, but maybe some bugs will going to become, but still we release that one. So we need some kind of a popularity for our framework, so that's the reason we release the snapshot versions. Second one is the milestone versions here. Basically milestone versions, when it will come is generally at the time of the application development or library development. So they just announce some date, so on so date we are going to releasing some version. So so on so date we are going to be releasing our framework, all those things they will release it. But still because open source community, we are not guaranteed. Sometimes developer is going to be work actively, so they are going to be fix the bugs, all those things. Sometimes they, we don't have a bandwidth. That scenario, just for the sake of the milestone, because just to reach the milestone, because we announced, if we didn't release the product, if we didn't release the project, if we didn't release the framework, will may lose the reputation. So to just catch that milestone, they will release the milestone versions, M1, M2, M3, that milestone versions they will release. For example, if you see, see, 2.7.18 is a milestone version. 2.61 is a milestone version. They just released these milestone versions. So these milestone versions, so these are this not at all use. Milestone versions you cannot able to use. These all are the M1, M2. These are all the milestone versions. So these milestone versions is not safe to use. So because they may didn't do the proper testing also. Those kind of versions will call the milestone version. Just to reach the date, to reach that date, we are going to be using the milestone versions. And finally, LTS versions, long-term support versions. These are the trusted versions. So LTS means long-term support. Long-term support is the badge. You will not supposed to easily get that badge. So your whatever the framework you developed, that will be tested by the multiple open source communities, and they finally approve. Okay, this framework can able to sustain to the next 10 years or next 5 years. You can use this framework, and this is suitable for the multiple domains also, like a healthcare domain, e-commerce domain, banking domain, insurance domain, multiple domains also it is going to be support. So that's how open source community people will going to be approved. They will they will give some kind of a voting on that. Okay, we tested this application with this framework, and we our project will going to be working smoothly on by this framework. So that's how some kind of a proper testing will going to be happen, and finally a trusted version will going to be released. That is the LTS version. LTS version. Those LTS versions are the recommended to use in our industry. Industry also will not use these snapshot versions, milestone versions. They will always use the LTS versions only. That's the reason if you see here, Java 7 you are going to be hearing. Java 8 you heard it. But Java 9, Java 10 also released, right? Have you ever heard the Java 9, Java 10 morely?
Yes.
After Java 8, what you will hear?
Uh,
Java 11,
11,
Java 11.
17, and 21.
and Java 17.
Java 9 also released, Java 10 also released, Java 12 also released, Java 13 released. But have you ever heard these versions? Anyone using like this? Because those
No.
are not LTS versions. Java 9 is a snapshot version. That would especially Java 12 is that is a milestone version. They just announced the data. So what these Oracle people did is they just announced the data. To reach the data, even a few bugs is also there, they just release the Java 12. So that's the reason no one used the Java 12 because that's a milestone version. So industry will not going to be take the challenges because they are going to be investing the millions of dollars in the project. So they will not they will not take that challenge. They will take the only LTS. So Java 7 is LTS version. So Java 8 is the LTS version, Java 11 is the LTS version, Java 14 is the LTS version, Java 17 is the LTS version, Java 21 is the LTS version again. So remaining Java 19, 20, they are also again a snapshot versions. Java 18 is a snapshot versions. So these LTS versions only will hear because industry starts using this LTS versions. So that's the
Sir,
reason.
what LTS stand for?
Long-term support.
This, I think it is good to use, right?
It it has to be used.
Okay, sir. So how we will identify, okay, this is the LTS, this is the snapshot.
They will give that here. Suppose if you see 3.4.1 is a snapshot, they will give in a prefix. If you didn't find anything, that is the LTS version.
Okay,
So if it is a milestone version, they will give the M1, M2, M3, for example. Are you able to see this? Java LTS releases. What you are having? Java 8, 11, 17, and 21.
okay,
The long-term supports is the 8, 11, 17, 21. So these all are the LTS supports. So those LTS supports only we are going to be using. So to develop any kind of a project in industry, we suppose not to pick the snap. If you don't have any other choice, so then we will go for the snapshot. If you don't have any choice, then we'll go for the milestone. So if we have a choice, then we definitely go for the LTS version we are going to be going. So that's how your library, your framework version is going to be fixed. Snapshot versions, milestone versions, LTS version. So that's the reason happen in Angular also. Angular also, you may hear Java 2 and after Java 4, then Angular 2, Angular 4, Angular 17, then Angular 13, Angular 21. Meanwhile, also they release the frequent releases. Angular 5, Angular 6, Angular 8, Angular 9, Angular 10, Angular 11. But some versions only got a more popularity because those versions are the LTS versions. So industry will pick the LTS versions for the long-term sustainability. So if they don't have any choice, but still they want to use that features, so then they will go for the snapshot versions. They don't have any choice, still they want to use some kind of features, then they will go for the snapshot versions. So that's where while choosing which version you want to choose is, it will always the LTS version. Now tell me, I want to develop a Spring Boot project. In front of me, these versions is there. So 3.4.1, 3.4.1 is a snapshot. 3.4.0 is the something like a LTS version. 3.3.7 is a snapshot. 3.3.6 is a bit legacy version here. 3.3.6 is a bit legacy version, and it is LTS version, but it is also standard. So which version we want to take?
3.4.0.
Either 3.4.0, either 3.3.6. That your choice. Both are same. So latest stable version is a 3.4.0. So that's the reason we are taking for the 3.4.0. So with this 3.4.0, you can able to work happily and comfortably. But if you go for this snapshot versions, you may land up in some unresolved errors, unresolved bugs. So that's the reason we are going to be working with a standard version of the Spring Boot. So that is a 3.4.0 we are going to be working. So with this version we are going to be working. So once you got this version, so then you are going to be taking all this information. So what is this project metadata, artifact, name, description? So this we are going to be seeing the tomorrow session here. So we need to discuss something more on this. So that's we'll discuss on a tomorrow session. Obviously, it is almost another 6 minutes only left. So a little bit, I need to catch the second batch a little bit. Yesterday I was a little bit late. So these things we are going to be discussed because I need to, once I discuss about this project metadata, then I want to discuss other dependencies, then immediately I will develop a project. So then you will came to know everything I want to discuss in a single day only. Then only you will not get a confused. Today I discuss the project metadata, tomorrow I will discuss other dependencies, a little bit confusion. I don't want to create that confusion. So both I want to discuss in the same day only. So that's we'll discuss in a project tomorrow segment. Okay. And one thing, dear, just to please call the admin team. I'm not sure they mentioned it link will going to be changed, but for the safe side, please call the admin team, confirm to for the new link. So maybe this link will going to be changed. So if the link will not going to be changed, we're going to be joining the same link only. So tomorrow I will going to be verify. First I will join this link and I will make sure everyone is a new link is generated or not. But please call the admin team and take the new link for that.
Okay.
Okay. So please call that and make sure you collect that new link. So that new link will going to be, it mostly going to be start from today. So please, everyone make a call to that admin team. So try to collect the new link. If it is not a new link, we are going to be connecting the same link. That's not a problem.
So we are going to cover the Kafka also, Apache Kafka and JWT.
Yes.
Okay. And Saga design pattern.
Saga design patterns, no one using it. That was deprecated. Hystrix is deprecated. So
Okay.
in that place only we are going to be using this canonical design patterns. That design patterns we will discuss.
So transactional, that all the thing we are going to discuss, right?
Yes, transaction management definitely we are discussing. That is one of the core concept. That's we'll discuss from the JDBC's level onwards. First we'll discuss on a JDBC, then that we are going to be discuss on this Spring Data. There we are going to be discussing. From JDBC level we are going to be discussing.
In JMS.
JMS is not came here.
Okay.
So
But
JMS is not part of here. Not part
with
of this.
Apache Kafka and Spring Security, JWT, or
So those will discuss here. So JMS is completely different.
okay.
So I don't know what you are thinking about the JMS.
No,
So
actually, I
JMS
don't
in
know what is it. I'm just searching on the Google. So this all the like people are asking in the interview.
no. JMS is a Java mailing system. To send your mails or SMTP configuration, you will use a JMS. That's not part of this
It is like
transaction
Java
management.
messaging service.
That's what.
JMS.
Yeah, for that only you got a Kafka.
Okay.
So those are the old way of sending the messaging queues, messaging buses. Now we got the Kafkas, and before that we are having the RabbitMQ queues we are having.
Okay. Sir.
Yeah. 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 So
Sir,
please
I
make
have
sure.
one doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, yesterday I tried to create the war file. I wasn't able to generate that one. Will you please show me that for one, just for once from like Eclipse, how to generate that war file?
So just once you create the project, and Warfile will generate the dynamic web project state. Suppose if you just created the file, new simple Java project, it will not going to be show that option.
Yes, sir, I
If your
created a Maven
project
file over there, sir.
Maven file.
I'm sorry, Maven project I had created, sir.
So if you created the Maven project, then you no need to go for this right click export. So just you need to do the Maven build. IDE will not going to be give that export war file if it is a Maven project. This is a non-Maven project. So that's the reason you are getting this export as a war file. If it is a
Okay,
Maven
sir.
project, so for that you cannot able to get, for example, file new some kind of a Maven project you are going to be telling. So in a Maven itself, you need to configure which kind of a packaging unit, whether it is something like a jar file or a war file, you need to do that one. So that's where you're going to be create some kind of a snapshots. Probably you just select this, create a simple snapshot. So this will avoid the war file creation. So just you need to uncheck this one. Next, and you need to create the some kind of a catalogs.
Yes, sir. Yes, I got it now, sir. I got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
So that's what. So tomorrow we will see how we are going to be generate our actual Spring Boot project and this configurations, what are these configurations we are going to be need and how we are going to be working. So both will going to be developing a Spring Boot project with the Maven will going to be covered there. So that is actually give the proper sense of working with the projects with the Maven tool. So that's what. And please make sure that so try to call the admin team if a link was changed. So then you can get that new link. So then we are going to be judging, checking that one because in this link itself they mentioned today is the last day. That's the reason I'm telling. So make sure that if a link was changed, get the new link. So I will also check with that one. So mostly everyone joined in that WhatsApp group, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you will get a intimation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
That program, sir, till now you have created few programs. No, sir, will you share that one, sir?
Yes, I will share that one. I will create a GitHub. So I will upload in the GitHub. So that GitHub also step by step I will do it here. So this is a sample project. So this will going to be just to share in a GitHub, not a problem.
Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So the notes
So that
where
we
you are
can.
uploading.
Yes, and notes are
Notes I will going to be running notes I will give it here. So that's
yes.
I will whatever the important points is there I will going to be tell. So then once the course was completed, then I'm going to be sharing the soft copy. So this thing, whatever we are going to be discussing all those things, this also I'm going to be uploading that class notes I'm going to be uploading. So that's once you got the link, so that new link will going to be activate with that classroom notes. There I will going to be upload. So you will get a credentials with a new link. So there you can able to get that one. So that's what. So make sure if it link was changed, if link was changed, please try to catch the admin team and try to get the new link. So we'll see tomorrow it is a new link or a old link. So mostly it is a new link only. So everyone will going to be get that. Thank you. Catch you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so